Hi, my name is Eric and welcome to this video series. In this video series, I'll be discussing on how to create bins and groups in Power BI. So most of the times we create groups for, we say descriptive information, things like countries, item types, and so forth. And then bin, it's more when you deal with numerical data or time data. Okay, so maybe you have a call center, you like to keep track of amount of volumes of phone calls per an hour. You can choose to group that. Maybe in a bin of 5 hours, you can use binning to do that. Or maybe for grouping, really, you have different countries coming from different region and you want to group the countries based on the continent, maybe based on the geographic location, based on maybe the status, so you can group anyhow. Anyways, let's go to the Power BI and see how this can be done. Okay, so the very first really example I use my sales data model, and this I create this in my other video. So if you don't know how to create the data model, really you can go and check out my videos on how to do data model. So first I'm gonna go and save this information here, and I'll save my Power BI as maybe sales, and I just say grouping. Okay, so if you take a look, I do have countries and region, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do item types. I'll bring my column chart and then I'll bring my item types, and probably I'll go ahead and I'll bring in revenue. So if you take a look right now, you'll notice that we do have item types. We do have office supplies. We do have, and let me make bigger a little bit so they can see. So to format your visual, you go to format visual, and then you can see here under x-axis we do have y and x-axis, but on x-axis is on, and then go to values, and I can make them bigger here. Let's make as big as we can, and maybe I'll change the color to, how about green, and I can bold them too. Just gonna leave them like that. So if you take a look, I'm focused on these, that's why I made them bigger, so I'm more about my y-axis. But you can see we do have office supplies, household, cosmetic, meat, baby food, and so on. So if you like to group these, you can, I'll show you two ways. First way, you can come here and say maybe you want to group, and I'm looking here, how about we group fruits and vegetables, and I know we can group meat and all that. And then maybe now I've selected. How do I select? I hold my control key and I can select and select stuff. So I just group these twos, and then I'll just right click, and you can see there's an option here which gives us to an option to group data. So you click group data, and then if you noticed, And if you go to your dimension, which is item types, we do have this group. Now, it's kind of not showing here, but if you go, you'll see the item. There's a group here which is fruits and vegetables and other. So the reason why you don't see this is because on our x-axis you're still using the item type, but we went ahead and create another group which is uh, item type groups, and we can rename this if you want. Okay, you can right click and go and rename this. I'm not worried about that for now, but now you can see we do have two groups, item types and others. And if that's what you want, you can just go ahead and remove this and bring item type on the x-axis. Now you'll see other, which is everything else, and fruit. So that's not perfect way. What we really wanted is to just have one group and have other item types as they are. How do you do that? Really, you can right click on this item type and go to edit groups. So as you can see here, the groups we just have these two groups, and we do have other. Really, you can choose to, you see here, you can choose to exclude the other group. Right now, including everything, but you can choose not to group anything else. And really, right now, we do have only one group. If you want to add more groups, you can go ahead and add. So let's say here you want to add clothes and personal care group. You can group that. You'll see the group name. Maybe you want to do cereal, baby food, meat and snack. Maybe it's another group. You just select, and if you select the group by accident or the item you want to remove, you can click on it and just ungroup it. And if you want to rename this, for example, maybe this you can, let's say we're going to add cosmetic, sorry, cosmetic and household. So if you want to add cosmetic and household to this group, you can hold Control key, select what you want to group, and then you select the group. And then you can go ahead and click group. And if you want to rename this, you can just double click on it, and you can say maybe this is home and personal care. And then this is personal home and personal care. We do have meat and snacks. Maybe you can again double click and say this is food and snacks. How about that? I'll say, yeah, meal and a snack, right? And then what other group here? We have fruit and vegetables. I'm just gonna leave as is. And let's say if you don't want to group these items, really you can just leave as they are, or you can include as here and other, or else you can bring the item as they are. As you can see here, I have baby food as in its own group, office supplies in its group, and beverage in its group. So the moment I click OK, you will see here my chart changes because you're editing this, and you can change the name if you want. Really, I'm just gonna leave as is for now for learning purposes. So if I click OK, wait, now I'll see different groups, and I can see different kind of color coding. And if you hover, you'll see some items in there. And here it will tell you the total revenue for both of these. Beverage just served its own group. Another group was this one here, which is meal and snacks. And we do have these items. So that's how we do grouping. Really, I don't have to do a lot of examples, but you can group maybe countries based on the region, based on the status, maybe maybe weather. You can group calls and hours in terms of time, per an hour, per couple of hours, and so forth. Maybe you can group patients if your patients based on their condition they're in and all that. So that's how we do grouping. Now, if you are dealing with numbers, we call that binning. How do we do binning? Let's check it out. We do have item cost, total profit. So yeah, I'll just show you really quick here. We do have total profit. You know what? The example should make sense really. It's let's do about how about grouping customer age. If you go to my we don't have customers in this model, so I'm gonna find another data source. And I think I found one. This is patient, and we do have birthplace. Let's see if we do have age. If we don't have age, it's a good place because we can calculate the patient age here. So let me first save this, and I'll save this as patient binning. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna group patient age. First, we're gonna calculate age column. Okay, and second, so we're gonna add a derived column. And second, we are going to group those ages based on grouping, whatever you want. To create an age, there are so many ways you can do. We do have birth date here, and let's go back. Not now. There are so many ways you can do. First, we can add a column and write DAX formula where we get the date difference, and you can say you can get the year, or you can use date difference column. So date different function or DAX to calculate the age and all that. I'm just gonna show you the simplest way. That way, you don't have to write any DAX formula, and it's gonna be easy for any person. So go to transform, and again, most of the times, even the binning, the grouping, the very first place where you wanna do this is from the source. That's the best way. Okay. So if you know the person who is generating this data for you, and if they're capable of creating those groups or bins, have them do that in the data source. So maybe this information is coming from a SQL Server database. So make sure that the information is coming from that area. Okay. If not, the second place to do is within Power Query Editor. And the last place to do is here, where you can just under Visual do the calculation, right click, create new column. This should be the last place to do that. And the reason why, because these columns are built when the data has been loaded, and it may take time, so it may affect your performance. That's one reason. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to transformation in the Power Query Editor because it's way better than doing them over here. But if you're good at DAX, go ahead and do that. Yeah. So in here, go transform, Power Query Editor open, and I'll go ahead and create a new column. But what I'm gonna do here, I can come here and add a new column. and really I can use some of these, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this column. So do duplicate, and this will be my age, okay? And I want to transform this. So all I need is to really transform this to age, and then I'll go ahead and rename this. So if you come here, you'll see you can get this age, and whenever you see this, if we do have time, this is just for time, here for date, you can see the first time. And what does the pop-up say? Return the duration between the current local time and the values in the selected. You see, so this will get at the duration. Pay attention here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Now, as you can see, this is the duration, okay? And we need to convert this to an age, okay? That's the duration. And then if you come here to, you can see formal duration values. If you come here to duration, you can specify days, hours, so you can see how many hours this person has spent since they were born. But we are really interested in total of years. And know that this says return the total number of years in each duration. That's what we need. We need to get the age, how many years have these people lived. So you can see it's 18 point something. So I'm just gonna go ahead and change this to a whole number. And if you wanna be technical, you can get the function here, maybe sailing or flow, whatever you prefer. I'm just gonna change this to decimal so that I get a whole number, because most of the times we usually say this person is 18 years old, maybe 12 years old, or 62 years old, or 63. We don't say 18 point something. So I'm just gonna change this to whole number, and then you're gonna um, round off this to a whole number, just for simplicity, right? If you wanna be technical, you can get technical, but right now I'm just gonna change this to a whole number. So now I'll see 19 years old, I'll see 13, 63, and let's validate the information, the very first three. Someone who was born in 2003. That's correct. And 60. Yeah, seems like we are close enough. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and rename this to age. Okay. So now I have this column. I'll just go ahead and go to home, close and apply. And then let's see how this is gonna work. So first, I'll put my visual here, which gonna be, I'll wait for it to load. I'm gonna use just the simplest one, which is column chart. Select it, and then let's try to do an age and maybe patient count. So that's the total age, and for now I don't want them to summarize the age. So this patient type, it's a text. Let's try to put on the x-axis, and these are really the patients, and that was sum of age. I'm gonna interchange this. I want age, and I'll drop here an x-axis, and I want patient count, so I drop under y. So you see, this is how our visual gonna look like. Why? Because these are age. You can see we do have count of 2 patients, age of 3, and all that. This is age of, let's come here, age of 64. We do have a count of 64 patients. So as you can see, this information is not really Great. So we are going to create binning here in this based on age. So to create binning, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna right click on that age. That's the column I need. Find the column you need to do binning, and you're gonna go ahead and do new group. Okay, this window will pop up. You can rename this age bin. I'm gonna leave as is. You can rename the way it is. And here you can see group by. Group by, we're gonna say bin for now. We'll see how to see, and I'll show you guys here the list. You can choose just like the way you're choosing. You see that's other. You can say, you know what, from this to here, that's the first group, maybe 0 to 2. You can go ahead and say group this, and you're gonna call this, maybe double click here, this is 0 to 5. Okay, and then you can go 5 to a certain age, but I would say and I'm gonna select everything and group. Maybe you can start from 0 to 20 and then just group that, and you can say this is 0 to 20, and then you can start from 21 to maybe 40. Okay, so group, and you can double click. You can say this is 21 to 40, and guess what, that's a list. And then you can keep on going, which to me it's a lot of work. And let's see them. I'll show you different ways, right? We have time, and I hope I'm not gonna bore you guys. I'm gonna say this, and this we know it's 41 to 60, and then we do have 61. We're gonna go to 80. And again, this is not an effective way because at least the age we know you're gonna get to 100. That's it. What if you're dealing with records that let's say revenue? It's a lot of, you know, put in a certain buckets. That's a lot of numbers to go through. Or some groups may be way longer, you know. So it's not my favorite, to be honest. If you're dealing with numbers, you're doing the binning, list is my least favorite. So double click, this is 61 to 80, and then I'm gonna do another one from 81 maybe to 100. We don't have 100. You see, that's the other thing. So next year, this person will attend 100. Guess what? We're gonna miss that value. Okay, that's the other thing which I don't like about this. It's gonna list the values that are variable, but it may not always be true, because when I'm saying to 100, but guess what? Because these are numbers are hard coded, it's not easy. And I saw everything. I can say and group this. So I'll say this is, I'll just say 100 plus. How about that? Okay, and that's gonna be our other, and maybe I can group it and bring them here, but I don't care about that really. And you guys know, if I click OK, now it's not showing. Why? You guess right, because we are still using the age. Now we can use the group instead of this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this, and I can bring my group and add it here. And now you'll see it's not perfect, but at least you see this actually is the minimum number. As you can see here, we do have 0, 20, 40. These are the minimum numbers, if you remember. Which, no, it didn't pick it up. So I'll pick the correct group and bring them here. Yeah, at least now we see here. So this really lists the groups. Okay, you can see a 41 to 60, and that's the patient count you're gonna see. This is 21 to whatever number, and if you cannot see here, again, go to format, go to x-axis. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it gonna make it green, which I don't see green here. Can go to more color. and pick that green. Okay, so that's good. Let's do 14 here, or maybe 16, right? We have all the time, we have all the power. How about 20? Okay, you can see clearly now the groups, the 100, and you can see the total patient count. Okay, that's one way. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go ahead and create a new group. I'm gonna leave this alone. Okay, so here we can see now, as I was telling you, list is not my favorite, but I can do that based on group by bin, and here you do have bin type. So 5, it's kind of small. Let's go by bin size 20. So these are the buckets. You're gonna say group by bin size is gonna be 20. The minimum is 2, the maximum is 113. And here we're gonna do by size of bin, and you're gonna see there's a time where you can do number of bin. I'll show you that next. How about that? So once you do that, click OK. And now just for the sake of learning, I'm just gonna go ahead and open it. Click in the create new page. Sorry, add column chart. I'll add my second bin here, and then I'll go ahead and add our patient count and our axis. So this is what I was saying. This the list. It lists the minimum, and if you check it here, it lists from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 19, and then this starts from 20 to 39. So this lists the minimum number. That's okay, right? And we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not bad. That's the bin size. But there's a time where you want to just see the number of bins. Maybe spaces. You need more real estate, in a visualization, or maybe you just want to see by a really number of bins. So we can go ahead and change that, but I'm gonna go ahead and create another bin here. So I'll go to the edge, right click, new group. Now instead of saying size of bin, I will say number of bins. Maybe that's all we need to find. Maybe you wanna just do 5 bins regardless of how many records you have. So we always have the minimum, the maximum. This bin size is calculated. So if you do have 22 bin type, yes, but if you want to have only 10 bin always, and you can see this will calculate. 10 is a lot for me for age. If I'm trying to analyze data and see if it's specific age, I'm just gonna go ahead and select 5, which the average is gonna be, the bin size is gonna be 22.2. So I click OK. And I forgot to rename my bin, but you can see this my bin name. I can go ahead and rename this if I want, and I'll call maybe edit group. I'll say this is page buckets. Let's give it a different name, right? Click OK. Now I'm just gonna see 5 groups here. So I'll open a new page, and since I know they're gonna be 5 only, just gonna use my bar chart, and then I'll go ahead and add that bin, which is edge bucket, and I'll go ahead and add patient ID. I want the count. And now we can see we all have 5 bin, and again, this is the minimum number, which is fine. You can see now, yeah, this is from 0 to 19, this is 21 to 39, and so on. And you can see the total count of patient in each edge bucket. Okay, there are so many ways to skin a cat. I'm gonna show you another way. That's my favorite, to be honest. I'm not a fan of this because it's hard to analyze sometimes. It's not easy. The very first one, at least you can see here. But instead of doing that's graphical user interface. But if you wanna get a little bit of technical, we can use other method like if statement or switch, and you can do that here using DAX. Maybe you can say switch, and you can say let's say you give a range from 0 to 20, you put something different and all that. And let's see how that can be done. So, and this is just like an extra. That's going to be a bonus for you. So you can technically stop here and continue the business. But I'm just going to go ahead and give you a throw in there. Let's try to use switch. And there's one more. But let's try first with switch. What I'm going to do here now, I'm going to go ahead and click add column. So I keep transform data to come here to Power Query Editor. Now in the Power Query Editor, I go to add column and I'm going to add conditional column. Now when I do that, a pop-up will come. You can see this is like an if statement. And I can say, maybe I'll give this a name as age group. Okay, so if you are doing race, they wanna get like the very few how they group people based on their age. You're gonna see from 0 maybe to 20, from 21 to 30, 31 to that. That way you compete against your age. They use the same concept here. So the very first statement, I'm gonna say if age maybe is greater than 100. So what column do I want? I want age. And here I'm going to say greater than or equal. And what's the value? 100. And I'll just say 100. And you can say 100 years or more. You can put text. But for simplicity of this video, just going to do this 100 plus years maybe. Or maybe that. I'm going to add a clause. Else if age is greater than or equal to 80. Now you can see I don't put the boundaries because this if statement is kind of smart enough to know that you're gonna check up to 99, and that's gonna be my age bucket, really 80, and then I'm gonna do another one, age, and this I'm gonna say greater than or equal to, I'll say 60, and then this is gonna be 60 to 79, and then I'm gonna add a couple of more. Okay, so I'll do age greater than or equal to 40. This will be 40 to 59, and then age greater than or equal to maybe 20. This will be 20 to 39, and guess what? Or else I just do 19 minus. Okay, or maybe I can say 0 to 19. Yeah, because I know for sure the 0 gonna be the smallest based on the age, right? So this 0 to 19. So if all this condition doesn't meet, that's an else statement. I don't have to add another one 0 to that. That would be like a misuse of that. So if I click OK, we'll see here the values. Okay, and that's our age group. So I'll go ahead and close and load. And I'll go ahead and give it a couple of seconds to load. Add. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a group here. Maybe just a column. I'll add my age group. What did I call? I think it's age group. And I'll go ahead and add my patient count. And you'll see here, nice. Okay, and then you can go ahead and sort, which I didn't show you, but then it's maybe now this sorted by patient count. You can go by age group, and again, this is I'm answering one of person who I asked this question. So if you have anything you guys would like me to show you guys, just comment or contact me and let me know. And I think for now we are good in this, unless if you have any other questions. Oh, wait. I remembered I said I was gonna show you one extra trick how to do this age group. Okay, so this is another one. You don't need coding, you don't need to stress yourself. Okay, so to do that, go to transformation, and this any user can, any person can do that. Really, you don't have to scratch your head. So and that's why I like Power BI. It's kind of so smart, helps us, especially for some of us who really don't know much of DAX and who didn't like mathematics before. And I can go ahead and delete this column. I don't need it, but I'm just going to leave it as is. Since I have the age here, I can come and go to add, and I'll say column from example. And watch this. This is going to be my new column. I'm going to double click here. Oh, I don't see my age, so let me look for it. It's right here. So I can double click and see the example here. There are so many things you can do. Really. Okay, I'm not sure if you have used this. If you haven't used this, let me know. I'll show you guys how to create a column from example. But there's so many things. So for this one here, and because this age bin is 0 to 19 and this 79, I'm gonna switch a little bit. I'm gonna go from 1 to 20. Okay, so that we know for sure it's not using this to calculate. So I'm gonna say the very first one is 1 to 20. I'm putting on my range. Okay, so you can see here it says enter the sample to create a new column. So you have to click Control Enter to apply so that this formula can apply all the way down. So already you can see what it does, and just move to another column. You can see this age 1 to 20, this 1 to 20, and then you can see this is 58 to 77. Why? Because there's 20 to 39 and so on. So this created another range really, and yeah, if you don't like it you can cancel. Okay, and yeah, so that's how we do really. And you can choose to change maybe 0 to 20, and you'll see if you do this, you can see that's the age group. 0 to 20, we do have 60 to 80, 0 to 40, and if that's what you like, you can use this, and that's the range. You see that? It gives you the range, and if you put in there, you're gonna help. So anyways, if you haven't used this before, really, let's say, I'm gonna give an example here. If you want to combine maybe first and last name, you can literally start typing here. So I can start typing first name with that name. It's you see that first name, I said that, select it, space, and if you want to select the last name, I'm gonna start typing Yman 904. So if you do that, that means this column at the end of the day will be listed with all these names here. You can see first space last name, and you can call this name. But anyways, this another extra to add a column from example. That's how we do it. That's a bonus for you. The video is still long. I'm gonna stop here and try to answer some other questions. Thank you very much. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. And today we were dealing with really grouping and binning, where we see binning, it's more of numerical values and time fields, while grouping, it's more for descriptive information like countries, item types, and so many. Okay. Thank you very much. Feel free to subscribe if you want to, and like this video. Have a nice day.